Hello, hello, hello. Good day, people of the stream. How's everybody doing? I see you out there, Anita, contributing your plot bunnies to the 6 hour stream. Yay. Awesome. Oh, how you doing today? What's going on? How's stuff? I was hoping I could work on writing today, but I've got to do Atlanta Comic Con stuff. Um, excuse me. The good thing is that over the next couple weeks things will settle down on the con front because most of the stuff will be done. So except for multiverse, we're kind of gearing up to do the final scheduling stuff, so that'll be a little hectic, but it will not be like having three different conventions, like having to work on three different conventions at once. So yeah, so even though I'm probably not going to get an opportunity to write today on the stream, I will get some of this stuff crossed off and finished. And Atlanta Comic Con is in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. Well, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Load in is 2 weeks from today. So, so yeah, so then that'll be completely finished. That's such an exhausting show. I never look forward to it because it's just so tiring. But it's still fun to hang out with all our people, but it's just so fucking exhausting. Ariel, welcome in, friend. How are you feeling today? How's your back? How's your back? I hope it's doing a little bit better today. I hope because you've rested so much that it's helping out. So, what's everybody working on? Anita renewed her driver's license this morning and bought 2 liters of ice cream because it was on sale. And because you get a reward for renewing your driver's license. Although I'll bet in Canada it's way less stressful than it is in the US. Although to be fair, in the US it's only stressful if you have to go in and get your picture done and stuff again, or have to redo any of the work, if you have to go to the DMV. But also, in our defense, the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, has gotten much more efficient, at least in my state, in the last 10 years. Like, much more efficient. And I think part of that is because they've divided out the driver services, which is where you get your license, from the tag office, which is where you get your tag registration, your license plate. Those are separated out, so in two different places. So it's not convenient if you have to do things for both, but it also cuts down on the wait time so much. And they've got like a ticketing system that, like, like they do at delis, serving number 22, which has made it a lot more efficient as well. um Ariel says her back is okay. She has a doctor's appointment later, so hopefully that goes well. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, my friend. So, I'm having trouble getting started today. I'm tired. I stayed up too late playing a game. Um, and now I'm tired. So, all right. Ariel says also the self-service kiosk helps when you just need to renew your license. Yeah. The only time it's a pain is when you like have to physically go in and deal with them. And even then it's not nearly as much of a pain as it used to be. Um Anita says, I sat in a chair for a while, answered some questions, got my pick taken, and spent far too much money. All right. But you get ice cream. You get ice cream. That's awesome. So, I wish my husband. So we've been eating ice cream the last couple months. My husband, every few weeks we'll pick up 2 containers of ice cream, different flavors, and then we'll eat. Not every night, but I don't know, probably 4 out of 7 nights we'll have ice cream for dessert after dinner. And I'm getting actually tired of it. And I wish my husband would. He makes ice cream. Like, I bought him years and years ago, I bought him an ice cream maker because he fucking loves ice cream. And he's diabetic, so he can't have the full sugar stuff. And so many things are done with Splenda, and Splenda is not something we want to put in our bodies. And so, like, he started making his own and using like stevia for sweetener or monk fruit or, whatever. And and he's just gotten out of the habit of doing that. I wish he'd get back into it because he made some really good freaking ice cream. So, let's see. Danielle's here. Hi, Danielle, welcome in from El Paso. That has a decent representative who is fighting for humanity. Yes. Yes. Man, oh man. I need a set and fresh strawberries. I bought those too, and I only went in the store for coffee. Yeah, but you went in the store for coffee. Hopefully, you came out with coffee, but also strawberries and ice cream. So, like, it still seems like a win. Danielle said, I just discovered my cat snuck into the office. He's just jumped on my desk, about to knock off the mess. So cute. He's now behind the monitors, about to swap my fingers on the keyboard. My husband, so basement cat, my husband's office is in the basement, so he always has to deal with basement cat. And basement cat, his name is Chai, but anyway. Um, anyway, so he's that kind of young teenager age, which means he gets into everything and he jumps on everywhere and he goes everywhere. And my husband, I always hear him going, no, no, because the cat will get up on his desk and do that. He'll lay on the other side of the monitors and then he'll reach over and swipe at Aryan's fingers and stuff, or knock things over. Oh, he gets so frustrated. Um, let's see. Ariel says, I used to make ice cream when my back didn't hurt. Oh, honey. I wish there were some fix for you because, like, you're too young to be like in that much pain, for goodness sake. Danielle said he's not allowed in here because we're a friggin' mess and there's too much to knock over and break. Yes. Anita says, yes, coffee was purchased and arugula. I don't really like arugula. It's very much like weeds. So, but, oh, and mustard. Fancy. Yeah, my husband bought brown mustard because this one's almost empty. Because we fancy as adults. Lunchables and brown mustard. That's how it works. Um, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what's everybody working on today? Like I said, I'm going to be working on Atlanta Comic Con. I'm going to do the same thing as I did yesterday, and I'm just going to make a list first. I also have to work on collating the multiverse guest what the hell? Guest survey, but I don't think I'm going to deal with that today. I think I will probably put that off till this weekend. So yeah, because I want to just focus on it. And I have trouble focusing on a big thing if I've got 100 little things that I've got to deal with. So, Ariel says, I'm so ready for surgery at this point. I think that's the only fix. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember like last year you were like, "Oh, I'm hoping we don't have to do the surgery." And now you're like, "Bring it. Bring all the scalpels and the anesthesia. Bring it right now." So, yeah, I understood typos. I am fluent in typo, both written and spoken. So, it's no problem. Jay's here. You're not late. We literally have not started anything. We have not started anything. And you're allowed to come in whenever you want. There is no late here. You arrive when you arrive. Danielle said it's so weird, hilarious having arugula and mustard in the same conversation with ice cream. I mean, there should be a rule, right? There should be a rule. So, no, but like you got to be well balanced, right? You got to eat the stuff that's really good for you so that you can also eat a little bit of the stuff that's really bad for you. So, you know. Um, let's see. Uh, exactly. When I mean to Oh, yes, when you mean to. You arrive exactly when you mean to, just like a wizard, just like a badass. So, all right. So we're just like talking about what we're working on today. Like I said, I'm going to be working on Atlanta Comic Con stuff because I think all my other things are okay for now. Um, yeah. So, yes, thank you for your contribution, Danielle. Yes, and that's a great reminder. Anita contributed earlier. You have you can contribute your plot bunnies to entice me into doing a 6-hour stream on some Saturday on some future date. Um, and you can contribute a total of $2,000 each day, or well, each stream that I do. So I wonder if technically, if like I get tossed off if I get tossed off the stream and I come back, I wonder if you can then, we'll have to, next time that happens, next time, Twitch unceremoniously dumps me, um, we'll have to see. We'll have to test that out and see if you can do it twice. Cause I'm pretty sure it's just by stream. So if I go off stream and then come back on stream, I feel like it should reset. It might be by day, but I think it's by stream. Hydrate. I have no water. I keep forgetting. I forgot to refill it yesterday after the stream because I was out yesterday too. But I do have decaf tea, so it counts as hydration because there's no caffeine. So I'm gonna do that. And posture. I feel like I'm sitting okay. I'm upright. Posture check. I haven't been hunched over this whole time. Um, it's odd not needing to work on my novel right now. Isn't that weird, right? You've been so focused, but do something else, write, like start outlining another book, or, think about like do a short story. The cool thing about short stories is, that number one, you get done quicker, theoretically. Um, Theoretically, unless you do what Danielle did and just keep making it longer and longer and longer, or what I did, although I did it in the plotting stage and not in the writing stage. Um, but theoretically, you get done quickly, and then once you're done, excuse me, and you've done revisions, then, excuse me, you can market it. You can send it out on submission. So you get that dopamine hit when you finish. And then at some point, it will get accepted, hopefully. And then you get another dopamine hit, right? So, do something new. Um, let's see. Danielle says, getting our bodies ready to go. That's right. That's right. Anita has to finish her online grocery order and do the final proof of the. Yes. Yes. All right. So I'm going to make my list of all the shit I need to do for Atlanta Comic Con. I'm so behind. Um, and then I need to what? What do I need to do? I need to start doing the things on the list. That's what I need to do. Sorry, I started thinking about some of the stuff I need for the list and I got sidetracked by my own thoughts. Okay. So let me find, so oh, I used our little guide that we got yesterday, although I think we should try to get another guy. Um, So what do I want to do? I want to toggle the visibility. We want to go into the kitchen because that's where all most of the new guys are. So look, we're eating pizza in the kitchen. Um, let's see. Let's look and see what we can do here. Hang on. This one is chop veggies into bite-sized pieces. So chopping. Let the sounds of the kitchen motivate you. And it should be early morning. Okay, so we need to do chopping. And then what was the sound? Sounds of the kitchen. Okay, so sounds of the kitchen. Kitchen ambience. Oh, I forgot to turn off the bubbling. Kitchen ambience. Okay, but we're going to turn that shit down because we don't actually want to hear it. All right. So, as you can see, there's a little swirly line on the spirit decks now. That means it's searching. So maybe sometime during the stream, we will find the new version of the spirit. Look at that little guy in the pot. He's so cute. All right. I also need to do one other thing. Where is the game capture? Because that is too big. There we go. All right. I guess I can just okay. All right. I feel like I'm settled now. Sorry, y'all. Um, be right back after speaking of bodies and pains and necks. Have to go get the support pillow. There you go, y'all. That's great. All right. So let's. What did I do? I moved it. Okay. So let me turn this piece off. All right. Are we ready? I feel like I'm finally getting my shit together. Maybe. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? All right. 20 minutes, y'all. Let's get into it. Here we go. right, y'all, that's the timer. Come on back, come on back. How did you guys do? So I made my list and I was able to cross one thing off the list. It's one of those things where I don't have a lot to do, but you know how, I don't know if y'all are like this, but if I've gotten behind on something and I should have done it earlier than now, I start feeling bad about it, which means I put it off longer, which makes me feel worse, which makes me avoid it again. And so at this point, the things I have to do are not big things, but they're things I've been pushing off. And now they feel yucky to do. And I don't want to deal with the yuck. I, I want to get the thing done, but I don't want to deal with the yuck of the feelings. And so that's what I've been avoiding. So, like, I'm just like, okay, I've got to hunker down and just fucking do it. So I did one thing already that I didn't like, that had ick involved in the feelings. And so that's done. So now I've got a couple more that have ick feelings involved. Um, and then, uh, and then that, like, then the ick feeling should be done. All right. Jay got words in. Seemed to be in a bit of a rut. Not what I planned on my day off. That's okay. Sometimes you got to listen to your body. So this week, actually Tuesday, I was doing all that stuff last week and late last week and over the weekend because I had three different deadlines on Monday. And so like I was scrambling and I got everything done by deadline. Everything was done by deadline, no problem. So then I'm like, all right, all that stuff is off my plate so I can focus on, this other stuff I have to do. Tuesday, no, 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 my friend. My brain said no. My brain said, you know what we're going to do all day today? We're going to fucking play games. That's all we're doing today. We are not doing anything remotely productive. We're going to play games and watch YouTube videos and da da da. Like, that was not my plan for Tuesday, but that's what I did because my brain just was not focusing on anything. And, you're not alone when you have those days. Sometimes your brain just says, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I want to rest or I want to do this other thing or whatever. And sometimes you've just got to go with where your brain goes because that's just how it works. Um, Daniela is a bit frustrated. I need a shareable free historical timeline template. Haven't been able to find one. Everything is a paid version of a maybe. So you need a students and I need to add to a timeline of the Portuguese migrations to the US with historical events, etc. So you need the initial timeline you need is the Portuguese migrations to the US or like I you need a blank one. Why don't you just make an Excel sheet and just fill it in? Just make a and you could use a Google Doc. You can use Google Sheets and just make an Excel sheet. And just have your like if you're breaking it down by decade, have your decades. If you're breaking it down by centuries, have your centuries, whatever. Um and then if you need to, you can have additional sheets. Like you can have one master timeline sheet and then maybe that's by century and you just list the things that happened in that century and then you can have like other sheets that are like that century by decade and then you guys can fill it in more granularly there. You can do it lots of different ways. You don't necessarily need a pre-existing one, and it would actually probably be, oh, and you want the lines of it. Okay, I can't help you with that, but you know what, if you set up the spreadsheet, that gives you time to go look for that. You don't have to feel pressed about it and you'll have more time to find the pretty timeline one. But I mean, if you want, you could use Aeon timeline, which is I don't know that you could share it. I don't think it's shareable. Um and you could, but the thing is you could use that for your I wonder if, hang on, I wonder if Notion has a timeline. Let me see. Um, does Notion do timelines? Oh, guess what? How much do you love me? How much do you love me, Danielle? There's you a link. There you go. Okay, let me scroll back and see what other we got. So I got so involved in that. Let me see what other people have to say. Anita got the grocery store order finished. Yes. Ariel's halfway done with her mid-year review for work, so her boss will know why she deserves a bonus. Excellent. That is absolutely the way to do it. Jay says, yeah, it's a me thing. On my day off, I tell myself that I plan to get some serious production in. Best laid plans of mice and men. For real. Yeah. But like a day off, for me, I think that if I plan, so there was a time in my life where I was more busy than I am now. I know that can seem really unlikely, but I was I'd gone back to grad school and there was a lot of reading and writing involved in that. I was working as I was working full time as an editor, which uh both freelance but also contract with a publisher, right? So we were putting out 4 books a week. So, and there were a lot of editors, but it was lots of reading and editing. And then of course I was doing my own writing. So like there was a lot going on. And in order to do that, to be effective, I scheduled out, like every day was scheduled out. It's like during these hours I'm working on work stuff, during these hours I'm working on school stuff, and I absolutely had to schedule my social time in that, because you need that. You need a break. You need a mental break. And I found I was so incredibly productive during that time, in part because I stuck to, like, I gave myself 2 evenings a week where I did not do any work, because usually the evenings were school. Like I was doing schoolwork in the evenings, but I gave myself 2 evenings every single week. One, I could go out and be social in a group, or I could just do something with somebody one on one privately, or with my, like hang out, have movie night with my husband or whatever, right? So the what I could do in those times was flexible, but I absolutely made sure I scheduled that time. And, it could be by myself time. It could be just like, I just want to veg out. I don't want to do anything or whatever. I want to binge watch a TV show for the evening or whatever. And I found that I was so incredibly productive during that time in my life. And I think a big part of it was because I built in time to let myself rest. And that may be something you might want to think about. When you've been very busy with work and your work's been very stressful and all that. And you may consider just building in relaxation time. Um, Jay says, seems like all I've been doing of late is research and gluing sequins and hot fixing rhinestones and stuff. So you've been productive. You've been productive. All of that is excellent. That is excellent work. Good job. Zah. So, all right. We are going to get back into it. And so, Danielle, that link I gave you is to Notion, which can be downloaded and shared with individuals, and contributed by individuals. So you can do that for free. It may be a little bit of a learning curve. I haven't actually used the timeline feature, but yeah, that might help you. Okay, so we're going to get back into it. I've got 20 minutes. Let's go. Right, that sprint's done. How did you do? So, another thing that happens to me is that if some piece